Hi guys, Kathy here. I made this beef stroganoff today, which is really simple. It took about 20 minutes to make and it's really tasty. So if you'd like to watch the recipe, please stick around. And if you like it, please subscribe and give the video a like. Bye. Right, so I have two sirloin steaks, but please use whichever steaks that you have to hand. And I'm just gonna season them generously on both sides. I'm using some garlic salt and some black pepper. But yeah, if you just have regular salt, do use that. But yeah, just make sure that you season generously because that's where the flavour is going to come from. And then I'm going to grab my pan and I'm going to add probably about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And we're just going to basically get that pan nice and hot. The hotter the better really, because that's what's going to give the steaks a nice sear. So yeah, just wait for your oil to get hot before you add your steaks in. Right, so I'm just adding my steaks in now, and I'm basically going to cook my steaks to about medium rare. So I'm going to do it probably a couple of minutes on each side. But obviously if you want them more on the well done side, cook them for a little bit longer. If you like your steak a bit rarer, then cook it for a little bit less. But yeah, I'm going to do a couple of minutes on each side before I flip them. I think I decided to give the second one a bit longer because I wanted it to have a bit more of a nice sear. So yeah, a couple of minutes on each side. And I'm now going to flip that one also. It's looking good. And just going to let that cook for another couple of minutes before I'm also going to sort of turn them on their side and let the fat on the side of the steak just render down a little bit too. I'm going to do that for both of them. And then I'm going to remove them and set them to one side. I'm now going to add about 4 cloves of garlic, which I'd sort of roughly chopped into small little chunks. I'm going to add that to the pan, and I'm going to sort of give them a little fry for about 30 seconds, and just going to sort of like scrape up the crust at the bottom of the pan from the steaks. That's obviously flavour, so yeah, I'm just going to mix that into the garlic. And I'm also going to add 1 large onion and stir that into the garlic. I'm going to stir fry this for probably about maybe 2 minutes. At this stage, I also got a little stock pot and I put that in a Pyrex because we need to basically make our beef stock, which we're going to use later. So yeah, I put a little stock in the Pyrex and I'm going to add some water. I think I probably added about maybe 100 to 150 millilitres of water. Just keep stirring the onions and garlic, get your onions nice and caramelised. At this stage, I added my mushrooms. So I think these are chestnut mushrooms. So I just cut them into slices and I added that to the pan. Actually, no, I think these already came pre-sliced, which was nice. So these were sliced, I just rinsed them and then I added them to the pan. And you're basically just going to stir them into the onions and the garlic. I'm going to season with a little bit more garlic salt because we all know that I love my garlic salt. And I'm also going to add some black pepper as well. Just going to give that a nice stir. Now the onions and the mushrooms are looking nice and dark. I love mushrooms. And then at this stage, I added
about, I want to say 2 tablespoons of plain flour. So you're just going to dunk that straight into the mushrooms and the onions, and you're going to want to stir that together. So this is basically what's going to thicken the sauce. Oh, I've got to say that I also added some garlic salt as well. And then, yeah, just mix that together and, yeah, just incorporate all of the flour into the onions and the mushrooms. Once that's all stirred in, I'm now going to start gradually adding my beef stock. So you're going to want to add this in little by little. So I'm starting with a little splash at first, and then I'm going to just stir that in. And yeah, you just basically want to do this gradually. If you do it all in one go, you're going to end up with a lumpy sort of sauce, which you don't want. So you're going to want to add this gradually so that it slowly sort of loosens up the sauce, and so that you don't have big sort of lumps of flour in your sauce. Also, guys, apologies if this is laggy at any point. I'm not sure. I think when I sped it up, it sort of affected the video. So apologies for that. But yeah, as I said, keep continually adding your beef stock until all of it is in the pan and incorporated into the mushrooms and onions. Dunking in the rest of my stock. As you can see, the sauce is thickening up nicely now, and all of the sort of flour has melted into the sauce. It's made it nice and thick, and yeah, it's looking luscious. I then kill the heat. And then at that point, you're going to want to add your sour cream. So I added probably about, I think this is probably maybe 50 milliliters of sour cream, but please do check the description and I'll put the exact amounts of what I added. But yeah, you're going to want to kill the heat and add your sour cream. And then you're just going to stir that into the sauce. And this is what gives the stroganoff just a really nice sort of rich taste. Yeah, it's one of my favourite sauces. I just think it's just really nice and it goes really well with pasta. But yeah, you're just going to stir that sour cream in. If you did this while it was on the heat, the cream would curdle. So definitely kill the heat before you add the sour cream in. At this point, I also added 1.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Please use whatever mustard that you have to hand, if it's English mustard or whole grain mustard, whichever is fine. And we're just going to give that a good stir. I think the mustard gives it a nice kick and a nice warmth as well. It really adds another dimension to the sauce. At this stage, we're going to re-add our lovely steak, and just going to stir that in. Make sure it takes on all of that luscious sauce. And yeah, we're basically nearly there, guys. Just going to give it a quick taste. And yeah, I thought it was fine, but if at this stage you think it needs some extra salt or pepper, please do add it. I think for me it was fine at this point. I just sprinkled in some freshly cracked black pepper. And then I also just garnished it with some coriander just to basically make it look nice. But yeah, that's obviously an optional step. And that's it, guys. You're basically done. You've got a lovely beef stroganoff. Hopefully your pasta's ready or your rice is ready, whatever you want to eat your stroganoff with. And yeah, it's ready to have this lovely stroganoff dished on top of it. So please, if you like this recipe, guys, like and subscribe and comment. Tell me how you found it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.